This is a funny poem. It's okay if you laugh. It's a coincidence. It's called My Award. I thought that if I ever won one of those big awards they give to writers, which includes not only a large sum of money, but a fancy dinner and a ceremony where you're presented with your award and you're encouraged to say a few words, but keep it brief. To the many swell people gathered for an evening of ambiguity, not all of which would be lost on me. I thought that if I ever won, I'd wear a classy outfit, like the one the Monopoly guy wears. I'd have the monocle, too, and an accent. I'd have things in my pockets, connections in high places. When I dodged the snipers, I would seem to float above the stage. It's a poem I wrote for my wife called Song of Napalm. After the storm, after the rain stopped pounding, we stood in the doorway watching horses walk off lazily across the pasture's hill. We stared through the black screen, our vision altered by a distance, so I thought I saw a mist kicked up around their hooves when they faded like cutout horses away from us. The grass was never more blue in that light, more scarlet. Beyond the pasture, trees scraped their voices into the wind. Branches crisscrossed the sky like barbed wire, but you said there were only branches. Okay. The storm stopped pounding. I'm trying to say this straight. For once, I was sane enough to pause and breathe outside my wild plans. And after the hard rain, I turned my back on the old curses. I believed they swung finally away from me. But still the branches are wire, and thunder is the pounding mortar. Still I close my eyes and see the girl running from her village, napalm stuck to her dress like jelly, her hands reaching for the no one who waits in waves of heat before her. So I can keep on living. So I can stay here beside you. I try to imagine she runs down the road and wings beat inside her until she rises above the stinking jungle and her pain eases. And your pain, mine. But the lie swings back again. The lie works only as long as it takes to speak, and the girl runs only as far as the napalm allows until her burning tendons and crackling muscles draw her up into that final position burning bodies so perfectly assume. Nothing can change that. She's burned behind my eyes, and not your good love, and not the rain-swept air, and not the jungle green pasture unfolding before us can deny it. This is a poem I wrote for my grandfather, who was an immigrant from Croatia. Conversation of our blood. That his father brought the butcher up to tattoo a watch in indigo on my grandfather's wrist at the time his steerage would unbound its lines and sail, not for a new world, but for a different one, is as true as the sky I could love. But please, only you of continents abandon past judgment. Only you of quarantine and of the various cleansing in the dialects impossible to understand. His mother wrapped some bread up in a white square of light, and from their stone house on the hill they must have walked north to the station, across the pasture, and followed the tracks in what must have seemed a moment outside the world. The gray dawn coming down on their sweet and level plain. From the station they traveled further north in a crowded common car that must have lulled them to the harbor in the great pushing mass of men like him and their women dragging children through the mud and the green confusion. His father not stopping to wave from the dock, his wrist burning the blue time. By the fish smell and oil drum din, he bedded down. Something in my chest tells me. With his blanket, I imagine him mark out his place. I rub my face to try and find the shape of his jaw, and I do. And his love for the good drink, which is never the last, and the startled look of surprise always in our eyes, and the pull of him like wired my heart. The years that I didn't know mattered must have been those black wings that passed through us and were gone. I finally took the slow, heavy, heaving ferry out to where you waited your long Ellis Island hours. I tried to find a column you would have leaned against, a window out of which you would have seen your world taking shape across the river we stole, grandfather, as we stole all of our rivers. And this is for his counterpart, his wife, Ana Gracia, my grandmother, from Ljubljana. I came home from Vietnam. My father had a sign made at the foundry, "Welcome home, Bruce," in orange glow paint. He read it spotlights. I had to squint. "Welcome home, Bruce." Out of the car, I moved up on the sign, dreaming myself full. The sign that cut the sky. My eyes burned. But behind the terrible thing, I saw my grandmother, beautiful Ana Gracia. I couldn't tell her. I clapped to myself, clapped to the sound of her dress. I could have put it on. She held me so close, both of us could be inside. And lastly, a poem for my daughter. The title is Kungaibo, which means in Vietnamese, a father's daughter. I have a daughter who my wife and I adopted from Vietnam when she was 8 years old. She's now 28. Amazing that you're not afraid, even when the night holds such touching shadows as these, and the way we make them in our minds. That you would interrupt my short time alone, my hour of recovery before spiritual death is funny to me. But here you are in your bright pajamas we bought in Hanoi, the words misspelled in English across the front, and in your black eyes the rivers of Big Look still churn and swell and twist in the great sea of your coming. I wanted to say that you were my river, or that you were my flower, or that you were my yellow bird, but I didn't want the words to hold you down the way words do. I didn't want the words to bend you, so I kept quiet. I watched you. Do you remember? As you squatted by the fish pond and dragged a stick across your reflection. Way back in another time, to a memory of the green place we sometimes may not name. I watched you.